But Mr. Art of the Deal, as he calls himself, has not yet struck a single trade deal, not a single one, with any single country.
Oh, not a single one. Bet Jen wishes she had held that thought.
This deal just fell into place. The Prime Minister did a fantastic job. His representatives are total professionals, and they got along well, and it just seemed to work. Things are going to move very quickly both ways.
Trump was tired with the slow, conventional approach to trade deals. He felt they didn't get to the reset that we needed. So he had to try something more drastic to change the dynamic. He described his deliberate disruption theory.
I think one of the reasons it did is because we blew up the whole system. If we would have just been dealing with you separately, or, you know, country by country, we blew up the whole system. It was very fair to the very unfair to the United States. And I think because of that, this worked out so nicely. And I'm honored that it was the first deal.
Yeah, the globalists blew it up. Trump's trying to fix it. And that's just the beginning. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said today that dozens of deals will roll out in the next 30 days. And China talks are next.
Scott's going to be going to Switzerland, meeting with China. And, you know, they very much want to make a deal. We can all play games. Who made the first call? Who didn't make the... It doesn't matter. It only matters what happens in that room. But I will tell you that China very much wants to make a deal. We'll see how that works out. Every country throughout the last 40, 50 years has literally ripped off the United States on trade, on military, on protection, on all the different things. And we are now making fair deals.
Finally. And by the way, why does China need to make a deal?
JP Morgan is projecting that they expect a 75 to 80% drop in imports from China this year because of these higher tariffs.
Yeah, and despite China's tough talk, they can't replace our consumers. China's factories are under pressure, including ones that make American flags. No, this is the scenario Trump wanted to create. And to all the complainers, you know what I say? What is your alternative to allow China to dominate global trade and ultimately destroy our own independence? But the defenders of the old globalist status quo, who see no issue with the decline of U.S. manufacturing, they're hung up on the process.
Don't back China into a corner. The market was very optimistic, very happy about the idea that there was a UK deal today. But I think we solved the problem we didn't have with UK today. That's what that trade deal was. But no, I wouldn't structure it this way. I would not shock the economy. Because this shock system of coming up with something crazy and then backing off it over time is creating unnecessary panic, unnecessary losses.
Yeah, panic on people who made a lot of money off the backs of the American middle class. What about the future gains that are coming to hardworking Americans? Do they count?
I think we can say that we'll be close to $10 trillion of investment. I think we're actually at that number now if you add up some of the ones we haven't heard about yet. I mean, we have some going up right now. They have plants going up, and they haven't even spoken to us. They're doing it because of the tariffs. And tariffs have always been used against us.
Trillions pouring in. We're going to be keeping track of the progress, because if investment of that magnitude really does materialize, yeah, this truly will be the golden age. Trump's team is working around the clock, trying to do something transformational. How many times do politicians actually do that? Almost never. Because they're trying to ensure that 10 and 20 years from now, we're a stronger, freer, more prosperous, and yes, happier country. Ambitious, but it's the right thing to do, and that's the angle. All right, coming up, the pro-Hamas thugs terrorizing college campuses are about to learn the hard way that there's a new sheriff in town. We'll explain it next.
Hi, Grandma. I played baseball.
Make your advertising matter. Reach millions around the country across all of Fox News Media, and our in-house creative team can get you started. Visit foxnews.com/advertise to grow your business today.
Fox UFL Friday lights up prime time as the DC Defenders touchdown take on the San Antonio Brahmas. What a play! Fox UFL Friday kicks off tonight at 8 Eastern.
I spent the last 20 years helping restaurants, but the moment they know I'm coming, they cover their tracks. Not this time. Camera 9, zoom in. That is one fat rat. I have an insider. There's the bacteria. Stop cooking. This restaurant is closed.
It's usually not good if he's walking to the door.
This could be something spectacular. Can you accept change? Oh, boy.
Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service premieres Wednesday, May 21st on Fox.
We are green. The Indianapolis 500.
Does your student loan payment make you cringe? By refinancing to a lower rate through Credible.com, you could drastically cut your monthly payments. At Credible, you get personalized rates from multiple lenders. Visit Credible.com now to see your new monthly student loan payment.
Fox's longest-running manhunt isn't just a show. It's an American institution.
I'm John Walsh, host of America's Most Wanted.
Fox Mondays. From Hollywood heist to Heartland horror.
Please, where's my baby?
We're hunting down America's worst criminals.
With nearly 1,200 fugitives caught in 45 countries, the legacy continues.
You can make a difference.
America's Most Wanted, Mondays on Fox and anytime on Hulu.
Kyle Tucker and the Cubs battle Juan Soto and the Mets.
That is a monster shot!
Or the Giants take on the Twins. It's Baseball Night in America, Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Alex Below's dominant season continued. Now he leads the pack into the Sunseal Grand Prix road course. The road to the Indy 500 continues with a special Saturday race on Fox. Welcome to the fastest racing on Earth.
This is a new beginning.
Where common sense
is our common ground. We're telling your story.
Is the most important story.
And we're not afraid to tell it.
Where American values unite us.
And don't divide us.
This is a time to come together.
For you.
For me.
For all.
For all.
For all.
For all.
For all.
For all America. For all America.
All right. I'm gonna change your world.
That's gonna be interesting.
Let's go. I love to root for great.
Yeah.
I want to watch history.
Ooh.
You want to root for the underdog. Good luck with that. In sports, people hate what they fear. They hate the Cowboys. They hate LeBron. I've got a lot of haters.
Truth hurts sometimes.
I'm controversial when I don't even mean to be. It doesn't matter how many times I'm right. You'll still argue with me. This is The Herd.
The tale of a farmer man searching for love all across the land. He's a farmer man. He needs someone to share his life. Find a woman to be his loving wife. He's a farmer man.
Them girls were trying to touch Matt's avocados. Didn't like it.
Farmer Wants a Wife. All new Thursdays on Fox and watch anytime on Hulu.
Meet America's unsung heroes when you go behind the badge. The new book by best-selling author Johnny Joey Jones, filled with inspiring and moving stories. Experience what it takes to defend the front lines here at home. Pre-order now at foxnewsbooks.com.
I'm Harris Faulkner, and this is America's Most Wanted Missing Persons. The most American thing we do is to never leave one of our own behind.
We don't know where he is. We're hoping that somebody watching the show can provide us those answers.
Someone knows something. It might be that smallest clue.
We have one mission: to bring missing loved ones home.
America's Most Wanted Missing Persons, Mondays on Fox and anytime on Hulu.
It is official. First things first is a hit.
The reviews are in.
First things first is a mix of analysis, tremendous chemistry,
and total ridiculousness.
First things first, weekdays at 3 Eastern on FS1.
Sports, culture, and comedy? Sounds like Ricky Cobb.
Maybe just from a size perspective, I would give him a problem.
The Ricky Cobb Show, daily on Outkick.com.
Columbia last night, but at Brooklyn College, this was the best they could do. They really need new chants. I'm almost tempted to write some for them if I wasn't so against their cause. And nearly 80 masked Hamas sympathizers, a note on what happened in Colombia last night, were mostly women. They were arrested after storming and taking over the library at Columbia. They don't care if people study because they apparently don't. Reportedly handing out pamphlets lionizing an alleged Palestinian terrorist.
So I was inside the library at the time that people first started entering, and I watched like 20 or 30 people start running in with keffiyehs and flags. And then as people started running in, people from around the floors and in that room started joining in on the protest. They had brought in bags and bags of keffiyehs and flags so people could join in.
The Trump administration already going after some of these radicals. Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned that the status of visas are under review and that there's no place for pro-Hamas thugs in America. Here to weigh in, Jonathan Turley, George Washington law professor, Fox News contributor. Jonathan, how strong of a legal footing does the administration have here with non-citizens?
Well, the administration has a very powerful law at their discretion. The Secretary of State is allowed to deny a visa if he has a reasonable basis to believe that an individual may undermine national security interests. So there's a lot of verbiage in there that gives a fair amount of deference. But also, these universities have authority. You know, this has never been about a paucity of authority. It's about a lack of courage. For years, faculty and administrators simply turned over our campuses to the most radical elements. You had faculty that didn't want to be tagged, canceled, fired. Many of the protesters, many of the professors who are speaking out today have been silent for the last decade as their colleagues were pursued and fired. But now it's come to this. They're watching what are scenes of anarchy. What happened at Columbia again is that these students felt that they were entitled to take over a library, to essentially displace Columbia students. And then amazingly, they complained that they weren't being allowed out so they could avoid arrest.
Oh, I love that. They had to show their ID on the way out. So at least Columbia believes in border enforcement. So, Jonathan, on another story, you were with us, I think, the night we broke the news that there was a potential criminal referral or a letter about New York Attorney General Letitia James over alleged mortgage fraud. And tonight we have even more news. Fox has confirmed that the Justice Department has officially opened up a criminal investigation into James's real estate transactions. Jonathan, what of this?
Well, Laura, as you know, the key here is that once you start that federal investigation, there's a lot of people and a lot of powers that can be brought to bear. This is what James herself did. You get an arguably credible basis for an investigation, and then you just look at everything. And so the danger for James is that the Department of Justice doesn't just focus on the initial criminality that's been alleged. If they see other possible criminality, they're allowed to pursue that. And so she has a great deal to be worried about as they go through these records.
And just about 20 minutes ago, she was speaking. She didn't address the investigation itself, but she did attack the administration. Watch.
Either we fight for our democracy, my friends, or we lose it. It's tyranny or oligarchy, and I refuse to accept either option. And I will not sit idly by and allow them to trample on your rights. You elected me to stand up and defend the Constitution and the rule of law, not to protect and defend a king.
She did go on to say that the allegations apparently are baseless, so she addressed that after that. But yeah, she's worried, clearly. So she's trying to, saying this is all political.
Yeah, and amplifying your message doesn't improve it. And I think part of the problem here is that what her team is saying is really quite laughable. Her lawyer and her team came out today and said, this is all revenge because Trump campaigned on pursuing his opponents. James ran for her office based on a pledge to bag Trump on anything. She didn't even bother to state the crime. She just said, I'll find something and fill that blank in later. And so it's just really otherworldly to hear her team now making that same argument. But she better be worried that these investigators might apply the Letitia James standard, because her view was anything filed under your name